Tom Palleschi, the former Eagle-Tribune super teamer from Haverhill and Phillips Andover. Tom, great to see you back on the court again. What has this whole process been like coming back from major heart surgery when your career was supposed to be over?
It hasn't been that difficult just because I've had my family, friends, and coaches here to be with me the entire way. So it hasn't been nearly as difficult as I expected or anticipated.
How did it come about, Tom, that you did come back? The word was out, you know, my career's over, I have a major heart problem, I can't play. How all of a sudden are you playing again?
So when they went to go do the surgery, if I was able to keep my valve, which luckily I was, then I wouldn't have to, I'd be able to play again. However, if they had to change my valve, then I would have to put on some blood thinners, and if that was the case, contact sports or any sports were really out of the question. But since they got to save my valve and it was just an aortic root replacement, then I'm set to go.
And did you know going into the process that if you got some good news, you'd be able to come back, or was that a surprise and you thought your career was over?
I sort of knew, but we weren't positive because there were so many things that we didn't expect to show up, or so many things that when we looked at the original images, it showed up later on, something else was wrong, so I kind of went there expecting the worst.
It's great to have him back. You know, we thought we lost him 2 years ago or whenever it was last year, and just the whole process has been good, and I wouldn't say he's 100% back. His numbers might be the same, but he's not 100% back, and when that comes, it'll be a full circle.
You know, you come back, and it's sort of funny, Tom, you have almost the exact same numbers you did as the NESCAC Rookie of the Year as a freshman 2 years ago. Are you 100% back, or not quite the old Tom? Or
I'd like to think so, but there's always room for improvement, so you just gotta keep trying, working, getting better.
What was last year like when your whole life you've been such a great athlete, and all of a sudden you think it's over and you're just a student? How difficult was that?
It was hard, but it was just a very, very different transition, and I mean, sports have always been a part of my life where I'd go to school, then I'd go play sports, and not even being able to, I mean, going upstairs, I was pretty much limited to even doing that. So it was really tough at first, and then it wasn't, and then in January when we decided that I needed surgery, I went into it excited as opposed to afraid, because I went into it thinking I'm getting fixed, like I can do things again.
So the surgery was actually good news? That wasn't bad news? That was good news?
It was completely good news until right before the surgery when the chaplain came in, and then I was like, oh, I'm getting, okay, this is serious. But other than that, I mean, I was excited for it. I was playing September in the hospital, and people were walking by like they saw a ghost, and I was dancing, so. Yeah.
What was your physical condition before the surgery? Was it a lack of stamina, a lack of coordination? What were the physical issues before the surgery?
There were really none. It was just, I mean, I hadn't played in so long because I was told I couldn't, but I felt the same as I always had. There were no issues whatsoever.
And you've always been known as a happy-go-lucky kid. Did you deal with it well, or realistically, I'm 19, 20 years old, of course I didn't deal with it well. Were you depressed, or what was the physical mood to steal your great love right from underneath you in a crazy sort of way?
And how did I deal with the surgery well? Or?
Yeah, or just the whole year away from it, thinking the career could be over as a teenager, 20-year-old kid?
Yeah, at first it was hard, but afterwards, after the surgery was over, I was actually happy. I had my parents coming every day, my girlfriend came in every day to see me, and that was nice. They said I was the fastest to walk out of everyone they had seen. So, and normally when they saw people who were my age, I guess they were saying that like people would be, oh, woe is me. But I was more excited and trying to get back to just running again or walking at that point.
Was it a difficult decision? Because realistically, people have died. Joey Glynn died of a heart issue. Reggie Lewis died of a heart issue. So we see in Boston some scary, scary stuff. Are you risking anything coming back?
No, I'm completely fine now. It was the big issue was my aorta, the shape, and then the size. And now that that's fixed, I have no issues or no risks when I'm playing.
And you hear coaching and you hear heart, and that's sort of, whoa, this isn't a knee, this isn't an elbow, this isn't a shoulder, that's some big boy stuff. Are you ever concerned when you see him out in the court, geez, was he wobbling a little bit?
You know, when we first started practicing stuff, there was a couple times he got hit once in the chest and he kind of went down a little bit, and I kind of jerked a little bit. And then there's another time where he was a little dizzy, and he said, I'm feeling dizzy, a little lightheaded. And I told him, I said, I can make jokes about the heart, but you can't. You got to be honest with me. So, he sat down, but he's back. He's 100%. Like you said, it was his aorta, and they fixed it, and so I'm not worried.
And everybody in your family fine with it? Was there ever, hey, we really want to mull this over, we really want to get a second and a third opinion, this is It's the serious stuff.
Not really, because at first I wasn't a surgical candidate because my aorta wasn't large enough. It had to get to 5.0, I think, centimeters. I'm not positive exactly what it was, but it wasn't at that. So then we didn't have any statistics on people with the shape of my aorta either. And if I was at risk for it to dissect at any point, especially with it being this shape, the best decision for us really was just get the surgery and get better.
And now, so this wasn't necessarily an aggressive thing on your part. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. They told you, no, you're fine, so you can come back. It wasn't sort of butting heads with anybody.
No, not at all. The doctor said I was fine to go after I came out of surgery. So.
Did you ever talk to anybody, Tom? I know Jeff Green. Some people said that was sort of a similar situation. The former Celtics star. Did you ever talk to anyone like in the sports world like that to see what they went through and how?
When I met with him, I mean, I had just asked him what it was like. He really.
Oh, you did meet with Jeff?
Yeah, I met with Jeff.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I met with him and got to ask him a little bit about the surgery before the surgery, and that was good. I mean, any nerves I had about it were just squashed, just because he said it wasn't that bad. And even though my dad had heart surgery, it was a completely different kind of thing. His was an emergency, so what he had to go through, I wasn't have to go through at all. So getting to talk to him and see his perspective on it was really helpful.
No, it's pretty cool. Apparently, the team didn't necessarily know you would come back, and you were still named captain. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
what did that mean to you for them to show that sort of loyalty, that sort of affection to name you captain when you might not have been playing?
I was just completely honored. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. It was amazing that they had that much faith in me, and I try to lead the team as best as I can.
He's a big part of the team. Like I think you asked him earlier, he got him voted as a captain without them knowing he was going to be back. You know, hopefully we're going to be back, but they didn't know, and he's just been a big part. He's been a leader his whole life. You know, and I think part of that is because he's been 6'8" his whole life. You know, but he's a leader, and he's just a great presence on the team, and does a lot for us. And it wasn't by 1 or 2 votes. It was, almost unanimous.
When you go through something like this, I'm sure family and friends and team are very important. How important was the jumbo basketball family to get you through?
They were there. I mean, I was watching in the hospital. I was watching the games on the 13th and 14th. They were playing Colby and Bowdoin, and then the next week they all came in to visit me. So it was great to have them there. And then they were always checking in on me, and I kept in contact with every single person, so it was nice.
How about your mom? I know she went through a very difficult cancer issue when you were in high school, or you were a younger kid, and your dad going through a major thing. So the Palleschis are mighty tough people, I'm taking.
Yeah. We're unlucky, but very, very lucky at the same time. So it's nice. It's nice to have her there, and nice to have my dad still. So.
Now, when you heard, like, say, not to be morbid or anything, like the Joey Glynn thing, was that, well, that's just a horrible tragedy that happened and has nothing to do with me? Or are you sort of thinking a little bit, the Bentley kid who passed away on the court from a heart-related issue like last year or something?
Well, my friend was actually at the court when that happened, so he had told me a little bit about it. And, I mean, anytime anything like that happens, you're just scared and feel for the family. So, I mean, that was terrible. But luckily, I don't have to... God willing, nothing like that can happen to me, so hopefully that doesn't happen.
What's it like being back 100%? You might think that a lot of guys maybe go through some real severe health issue like you have, and maybe you come back and you're a shell of your former self. Your numbers are nearly identical. You're putting up all league type of numbers, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 50%, 2.1 blocks. Have you surprised yourself that you're sort of the Palleschi of old?
I mean, I want to get better, so I'm not surprised at all. I think I can do absolutely better.
Would you be better if you didn't go through what you've gone through? Would you be doing that much?
No one will know, but I mean, I plan on getting better still. So even if that was the case, that I just got to keep improving. So
tell us about the changed number, Tom. You went with a new number this year. What is it and why?
Number 2. Because I'm getting a second chance to play, so I thought about that in the hospital, and I was like, that'll work.
Good. You don't necessarily have to go to Tufts and Phillips to figure out that number too, right?
Exactly.
Okay, a public school kid can figure that out. Did you have to take a lot of medication to deal with heart problems?
No, I had to take some stuff to keep my blood pressure a little bit lower, but that's over, so I'm completely fine now.
Really? So zero medications? Or
Yeah,
anything?
I'm good. I got a nice scar, and I got some metal plates in me, so if I ever go through an airport, I'll set something off, but other than that, I'm good.
How nasty is that scar?
It's not bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a little hairy, but I mean, other than that, it's fine.
Well, I suppose it's good that you're not naturally a handsome kid to begin with.
Yeah,
so you don't
it's
lose,
fine. I'll take it.
Now, what was the low point of this difficult ordeal you've been through?
Probably getting the tubes out at the hospital. That was horrendous. And coughing. But after surgery, but other than that, everything was fine. Low point was obviously the first being told you can't play again, but then from there it's really been up.
And how do you're known as a happy-go-lucky kid. Is there a lot of tears when you get that original diagnosis?
Oh yeah, it was me and my mom, and then kind of broke down. Doctor left the room. Doctor came back in, asked for a puppy. Everything worked out.
And how long is that process? Are you sort of depressed for a week, 2 weeks, a year, or did you put it behind you soon, or how'd you get through that?
I mean, it was always in the back of my mind, but I just tried to not really think about it. But it's something you're always going to think about, something always going to be affecting you. But we still had the team and still try to help out the team as much as possible.
And were you close to the team while you were sidelined?
Yeah, I kind of worked with the big guys, tried to coach them as much as possible, and still tried to be at every game I could.
And what's been the high point? Is it when you get the news that you could come back, or you feel good, or was there a little moment that euphoric when you sort of started to pput this behind you?
The high point was probably just the first game back, just being able to play again. That was nice.
Do you sleep the night before that?
Yeah, I slept fine, but I was very, very nervous. So
now you're under 21. How did you celebrate the?
I'm
coming back?
21. I'm 21.
Oh, okay, you're good to go. How do you celebrate when you come back?
I play some board games, watch some TV, a lot of Monopoly.
do you look at this? Are you blessed to be where you are today?
Yeah, I'm very blessed to be where I am. I'm blessed to have the family that I do, so I can do nothing but thank God. So
it's a great story, Tom.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the great comeback story.
Thank you.